players can compose themselves better. Magnus is making moves while standing up, sitting down. Both of them are eating. And Magnus switching hands, playing 1d4.
Game 3 is officially underway. I want to get a heart rate monitor on these two. Daniel, if you had to predict, do you think their heart rate would be as stable and calm as what we're seeing on the screen, at least as calm as their body language is, or do you think that would be a whole different story?
Well, I think that that short break between the second and third games did wonders to calm them down and calm their heart rate down. But I'm sure that they probably could do with a cardiologist standing right outside of their place of residence. I could do with one too. Maybe just a traveling chess cardiologist. There actually is a FIDE master named Tansel Turgut. He's a correspondence grandmaster and he works as a cardiologist in Illinois. So, see, I know one off the top of my head. FIDE master Turgut, maybe he wants some new clients. The Catalan wants some new clients. We see Magnuns Carlsen putting on his Jan Nepomniachtchi hat. Jan has been playing the Catalan very regularly with the white pieces in rapid time controls. I haven't seen it as many times from Magnus, but I'm all for it.
The Catalan doesn't need any new clients though, because it's one of the most played openings at the absolute top level, elite level of the chess world. We've seen it so many times in World Championship matches, especially the 2021 World Championship match immediately comes to mind, Magnus against Jan. We saw the Catalan employed by both players, and here we see rook to c1 lined up on the c5. Daniel, this so far has been the most sane position that we've seen all day.
Yeah, definitely Magnus choosing something more positional. We had a Rui Lopez in game 1. Carlsen, clearly not a huge fan of how that opening unfolded. That was a crazy game in its own right with a knight sacrifice in the early middle game. But here Magnus kind of dialing it back, getting something relatively non-theoretical. And when I say non-theoretical, Tanya, of course the Catalan is ultra-theoretical in its own right. But the price of a move is not that high. You can basically play any move in the position and the evaluation doesn't change too much, if that makes sense.
No, absolutely, because it's a slow strategic fight. And speaking of that, time is really not of the essence on the board. We might even see white very typically move that bishop from d2, which has been moved once, twice. It might land on another square. It's often the f4 square, vacating that d2 spot for the knight, because you really want the b1 knight to move ahead to that d2 square, not develop on c3, and maybe we can just show that with arrows. You might even get a move in, Daniel. I guess like bishop f4, knight d2 would just go on to prove your point, that here you can really take your time to achieve the setup that you want. It's not fireworks just yet, but at some point these positions do tend to open up. And wow, There's another approach. It's opened up right now, a trade, and the rook and the queen perfectly lined up to enter the 7th rank.
And you often see a move like queen c6 or queen c7 in the Catalan, but if you do it prematurely, there will be hell to pay. If you play queen c6 and run into bishop to a6, that queen becomes a huge liability. So instead you do see the move bishop f4 by Carlsen. Good call, Tanya. That bishop is angling toward c7 and the knight gets out to c3. I wanted to briefly
side and the rest of the army that Alireza has on the queen side. And Magnus' final decision is knight d7. This gets fun. What happens
next? Just trade queens and go knight e5. Trade queen. This is such a Magnus decision. Trade queens and go knight e5, using the threat of f4 in order to force a favorable trade. I actually like this even more than the immediate f4, because this is just such a Magnus decision. On the other hand, look at Firouzja, f4, f6, and Magnus needs to find one more tactical solution here. Is it fg and g4, trapping the knight on h5?
Looks
wow.
really good to me.
That wins
and
the game.
Not?
Fg and g4. Gotta do it.
That's a great spot, and Magnus has got a minute to spot that. He doesn't. But also a really good idea, because he hits that bishop on e8, and Daniel, that bishop needs to stay connected to that knight on h5.
But Alireza's basically banking. Alireza's banking a bunch of pawns in return for his minor piece, and this is not over. Bishop takes g5. Magnus with a little bit of a sloppy conversion there. Alireza wants to take on e3 Tanya and go bishop to c1. Pawns are disappearing off the board. No, this should be a win for Carlsen. I mean, with 6 seconds left, how does Alireza manage this tension? Takes on d4, that is correct, and bishop to c1. Still some work to do for Carlsen.
The d5 pawn hangs as well. You pick up the b2 pawn. Need to defend d4. And you know what, Daniel? I think Magnus can start also thinking about setting up a kill zone for that black king. These 3 minor pieces are coming for the king.
And with 1 second, there's no way Alireza is surviving this with...
Don't take on d4, because knight f5 would have been a check.
Oh, that's a great spot. Knight e4, knight takes c3, trading the bishops. Now you gotta watch this pawn. But Magnus can just bring his king in. Yes, bishop a3 is the key. Can you trade, though? No. No need. This is winning.
This is game over. Bishop on a3 cannot be challenged. Magnus up a piece. There are 2 pawns remaining for white, which are enough to do the job. It's not that easy to win the c2 pawn just yet. You might have to give up the d5 pawn to be able to do that. Daniel, how easy of a convert is this for Magnus?
Pretty easy, but he's got to sidestep some tension here, because Alireza is going to advance his pawn to h4. So Magnus has to spend those 40 seconds he's got calculating whether he can convert his pawn before Alireza converts his. h4 was a bold pre-move by Firouzja, gaining some time. Magnus? Yeah, bishop d3. What a classy move, just eliminating the pawn calmly and then stepping to e4 to stop the other pawn. We might get a double bishop checkmate here by Carlsen, which will be a real treat to watch.
He had to go king d8 before pushing the h-pawn, because bishop f5 would have come in with a check, picking up this pawn as well. None of that allowed. Magnus has picked up the c2 pawn. Alireza knows it's over, but he's going to keep fighting this one. Daniel, I don't see him surviving it. He needs a miracle. And there's a checkmate coming in. The d-pawn moves forward. That's going to promote a new queen will be born. And